Alright, cool beans. Hope you guys enjoyed that small montage. I'm Hex. It's been a while. You know, I've been busy with work and my computer, so I had to get a new one. And I do have other videos that I'm working in the background. I am going to be going over another build, a troll build this time, because coming back to the game, I just wanted to troll, kind of see the meta for a little bit. And yeah, I really do love this build. Big shout out to my homie Astros. Honestly, I appreciate you for giving huge inspiration for this build. He's the one that showed me the tools, and without him I would have never been able to make the build I have to now. We're going to be going over a troll build that I like to call the TankPlar ego bruiser. Basically, where we're just there to troll and bruise egos. But if you can, before we get started, if you guys can hit that subscribe button and hit the like button, really does help and does go a long way. I mean, hitting 100 was insane. 500 is unheard of, and I would really love to push it to 1K for now. And also, it does keep you informed when I do post posts, basically asking what you guys want to see. But without further ado, let's go bruise some egos with a TankPlar. Alright, so for the first set we run is Astros. Astros is really good set, honestly. I really like it. 2 piece adds armor, 3 piece adds max health, 4 piece adds max mag, 5 piece. When you take damage, you have a 25% chance to restore 2000 magicka. This effect can occur once every 4 seconds. When we're getting Zerged over, we're more than likely going to be proccing this on cooldowns. This is basically equivalent to 1000 mag recov right here if we proc this on cooldown. And the cool thing about this one is it can proc through our miss. So the next set we run for our monster set, we do run Malabeth or Scourge Harvester. Everyone just calls it Malabeth. So 1 piece has max health, 2 piece. When you take damage, you have a 10% chance to create a beam that steals X amount of health over 6 seconds for the attacker. Don't really care about that. The main important thing is while the beam holds, you gain major vitality, increasing your healing received by 16%. It's cool that it gives you a heal, but the main thing we run is that major vitality. It's just unheard of. And then for our next set, we do run Mara's Bomb. This thing, let's just say it's a shell of its former self, but it's still really good. So for those that don't know or what even happened in Mara's Bomb, we'll go over the little story of the changes to Mara's Bomb for now. So those that don't know what Mara's Bomb does now. 2 piece adds armor, 3 piece adds crit resist, very juicy. 4 piece adds healing taken, 5 piece. When a negative effect is removed from you, restore almost 2k health. This effect can occur once every second. But there's another 5 piece. When you take damage and have 6 or more negative effects, restore almost 2k health per negative effect and cleanse them all. When we're getting Zerged over, we're going to be proccing this on cooldowns. The most important part is it gives you a cleanse, and if you have like 40 negative effects on you, you're going to heal for almost 2k per negative effect. That's like 80k heal right there. That's kind of unheard of every 15 seconds. Yeah, kind of nuts, to be honest. But quick story, this thing went from being the most broken thing in existence to being pretty good to just being pretty good again. So the original one, this thing had no cooldown. This thing had 0 cooldown. Exactly the way it was, 0 cooldown. For console players, for us console peasants, I play on Xbox NA, we didn't get that one. What we got was the butchered version where basically the heal is like 1/3 of the heal. So like restore, no cooldown, restore 600 health. And it was still pretty nuts. But now it's the original heal but with a 1 second cooldown. Which I guess, yeah, it was kind of sucks that I wasn't able to fully abuse Mara's Bomb on console, but it is what it is. But yeah, really good set, really cheap to get now. This thing was very expensive at first, and that's pretty much it. So the way we run it is we do run a Sword and Board of Astros. For my enchant, I do run whatever, just a physical damage enchant, just to like if I do go for a heavy, I get some extra stam. And my trait, I do love personally Decisive. Decisive I really feel is really good because on this build, I just want to pump the ultis as fast as possible. You could go defending for extra tankiness. You could go, what's the other one, Powered for extra healing. That one's actually really strong too. But I felt Decisive was the best one because if we're able to pump our Sword and Board ults, it just makes everything perfect. I personally think that's the way to go. Yeah, she's like, yep, you got it right. So for the shield, I just put a max health enchant, and we do run Impen. I personally do like Impen. Makes it very tanky. You could go Reinforce or even Sturdy if you wanted to. For our back bar, we do run the Restoration Staff of Desert Rose. An Onslaught enchant on the back bar. To make this is a Tade with Haikeijo and Akuda. So this is the way I made it. I think. Maybe. I don't really quite remember. I do run defending. Defending, I feel, is the best way to go on the back bar. Since we are losing our sword and board passives on the back bar, we want to be able to carry over some tankiness, and this is a lot of tankiness. Almost 5% damage mitt, kind of nuts, to be honest. So for our armor, it is all heavy. We run all heavy on the armor. So the way we run it is a Malabeth helmet and shoulder. And for the rest of my body, it is all Mars Bomb. So Mars Bomb chest, waist, hands, legs, and feet. So the way I run the enchants is kind of a mixture of whatever you want. If you can, tri-stat the big pieces and then max health on the small pieces. That'd actually be the best way. Honestly, you could just go full max health and you wouldn't even notice it, to be honest. All tri-stat, some tri-stat, or even all max health. Does not matter. Either one's fine. And for the traits, I do go 3 Empen, 3 Sturdy, 1 Reinforce. So for my 1 Reinforce, I do have a Reinforced chest, because the chest gives us the most armor, so Reinforce benefits the most from there. And then the rest for my Empen is I do have a Empen head, shoulders, and legs. And then for my Sturdy, I do have Sturdy waist, hands, and feet. You could go any combination. Could be all Sturdy, all Empen, 5 Sturdy. It does not really matter. I would just recommend just having a little bit of Empen, at least like 2-piece Empen would be nice. So for our jewelry, we do run all Desert Rose jewelry, all reduced block costs, all infused. So that's the way we run our jewelry. If you can, please, please, please try to make the jewelry gold. Try to get gold jewelry. It really does add up. But if you don't, purple jewelry will suffice. Alright, so for the food we run is simple, be with sugar skulls. Honestly, very solid health. Increases our max health by the most for our tri-stat, gives us the most max dam and max mag, and if you ever want to hear a joke, it also grants you some health recovery. For the gold food, you can run just one longfish pasty, does not matter, that one's perfectly fine. Just don't run Jewels of Mistral or Zofkas, since you do want more max dam to be able to just hold block the longer. For our pots, you could just run those triad pots, they're universal, perfect, but the main pots you do run is resist pots. These things are insane. Restore health, nice, but whatever. But the main reason, increases your physical and spell resist by 50 to 80. These things are like a night and day difference when you pop these pots. Pop these pots and then don't pop it. Pop a tripod right after, and you'll see how much more damage you take without these things up. I will have the recipe on the screen right here because I don't remember off the top of my mind. So yeah, if you're trying to make these pots yourself, here you go. All right, but enough of that. Let's go over the skills now. Alright, so for the first skill we run is Honor the Dead. Honor the Dead basically is our single target burst heal that really is good for sustain. The other morph, don't try not to use the other morph, you will burn your magic very, very fast with the other morph. Next skill we do run is Restore and Focus. This is basically our armor buff. Create a rune on the ground, gives us major resolve for 20 seconds, increasing your physical and spell resist. You also recover 242 stamina every 1 second over the duration. Note, if you don't know this, I'm pretty sure most people know, but you actually don't need to stand in the rune to get this. Just as long as you place this, you will be able to get 242 stamina wherever you go. But the main thing about the rune is standing within the rune heals you for almost 3k health on this build every 1 second, which scales off your max health. So the more max health we have, the more we benefit from this. So that's why we push our max health very high. But most important, please run the stam morph. Yes, it does cost stamina to cast. You are literally netting over almost 4,000 stamina. So this is the way we are able to get stamina through this build. Next, we do run Lingering Flare. You know, launch a Blinding Flare, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care about that. The main reason we run this is because of that juicy passive. While slotted, you gain major protection, reducing your damage taken by 10%. That's it. You just have this ability slotted, you take 10% less damage. I don't know what Zos was thinking, but thank you. Next, we do run Defensive Stance. This is also another skill that we use for the passive. If you use this skill, you get a ward on yourself for 6 seconds. What we really do care about, while you have a shield equipped, the amount of damage you can block is increased by 10% and the cost of blocking is reduced by 10%. So it's mainly used for the passive. Please don't use the ability. This thing will drain your stam and you will die if you use this ability. Next, we do run Living Dark. Honestly, I love this skill so much. Basically, you put yourself in a Lightless Spear for 12 seconds. Anytime anyone deals direct damage, the spear lashes back, snaring them by 40% for 3 seconds. But the main important thing is healing us for over 2k health, and this effect can occur once every half second. So basically, we can get almost 5k healing every second when we're getting Zerged over, that thing's gonna be proccing on cooldown. So yeah. Next, we do a run Spell Wall. This is basically our defensive ultimate. Basically, we get to block for free for 7 seconds and move at full mobility, and all projectiles are reflected back to the enemies. So this is basically when we're low on stam, we pop this ulti and we go in for some heavies, and that's how we get back our resources, and we're just back at it, back to full, and we just keep doing it again. So So yeah, very nice, very cheap. Not as cheap as it used to be. This thing, back when shield ult was only 100 ulti. Man, those days. Alright, so for our back bar, we do have extended ritual. This is basically just used for the hot. Basically what you do is put a ring on the ground. When you activate the skill, you cleanse yourself of 5 harmful effects. You put a big old circle on the ground, healing you and allies. Alright, so for the next skill we do run is Blood Mist. Blood Mist is just very fun to troll with. You go in this mist, removes and grants immunity to snares, immobilizations, and CCs. What this morph does is, instead of granting Matrix Expedition, you do X amount of magic damage every 1 second to the enemies around you, and you are healed for the damage done. So yeah, this skill is very fun to troll with. If you're ever trying to get to a place and you want to be tanky while doing it, you pop the skill and you can kind of just move around. And with the absurd set that is Desert Rose and Constitution from the heavy armor, you will more than likely be almost able to stay in perma-mist if you really wanted to. Next we do run Lingering Flare, again just used for that juicy passive, major protection. And then next we come to our flex spot. I finally did grind out Sidric on most of my tunes. Right now I do have Race Against Time, and I've honestly been loving Race Against Time. It's very nice. It's just fun to like troll kids. Like if they're trying to run away from you, you pop the skill and they ain't getting nowhere. You just keep them in perma combat if you want. And that's what I really love about this. Just being that clown. That's what I love about this. But yeah, if you really wanted to, you could put Luminous Shards to give your allies a synergy. When people are repairing a keep door or repairing a keep wall, if they take damage, it cancels their animation to repair the wall or whatever. So if you put this on the ground and you throw it at someone, they're not going to be able to repair it. You can run almost any skill there if you really wanted to. Or you could put Blood Altar. Blood Altar is really good. And then for our final skill, we do run Aurora Javelin. This thing is the reason I keep coming back to my Templar Tank, because this skill is just dumb, so goofy, and just fun when you use it against others. When it's used against you, very frustrating, very annoying. You hurl your spear at an enemy with godlike strength, dealing X amount of magic damage and knocking them back 8 meters. The thing that just boggles my mind is the ability ignores the enemy's resistance and cannot be blocked. Why? Who thought it was a good idea to make this unblockable? This thing is very annoying. The only way to not get hit by this is to roll dodge. But guess what? If you roll dodge, you leave yourself open for a meteor or a Dawnbreaker or AoEs. So the only way to survive from the Templar death combo is to mist. But yeah, the reason we run this is just being able to knock kids off keeps, knocking kids off bridges, and just being that troll to knock kids off. It's just so much fun, and this is the reason I come back to my TankPlar. And then next for our back bar, I finally do have Temporal Guard. Temporal Guard is very solid. It's mostly just used for that passive. While sliding, you gain minor protection, reducing your damage taken by 5%. But yeah, you could almost put anything back there if you wanted to. You could put a Nova. Give your allies a big hard-hitting synergy. You could put on Remembrance to heal your allies in a big ulti. That one that I really do enjoy, the Lights Champion. I really do enjoy this one on my back bar. If you don't have that one and don't want to grind it, because trust me, I understand, you could just run Lights Champion. Basically, you heal everyone around you. Most importantly, any friendly target you heal gains major force for 8 seconds. Yeah, kinda nuts. Enough of that, let's go over the stat sheets now. Alright, so stat sheets with our buff. Our max mag is at over 21k. Max health over 41k, very nice. Max damage just shy of 18k. Mag recover at 700. Health recovery is over the joke to read, and our stam recover is at 514. Our spell damage buffed is at 2825. Weapon and spell crit, not really necessary. Pen, obviously we're not here to do damage. But our resistances with our pot. Our spell resist is almost at 37k, and we can honestly push this to 40k when we go over our passive. Physical resist is at 34.6k. Oh, yes, sir. And our crit resist is at almost 2900. Now that's where we're talking about some stats. So for our attributes, we do go all 64 points in the health. The more max health we have, the more intimidating we look. And one of our heals does scale off with max health. So let's just quickly go over it. Block cost is without survival instincts at almost 400. Very nice. Could go even lower, but I don't have cold jewelry, sadly. So for my Mondays, I do run the Ritual. The Ritual increases your healing done by 8%. I tried them all. I tried tankiness, I tried the recovery, and I found the Ritual was just the best one, honestly. Just increasing your healing done by 8%. When you have healing received modifiers, it just makes heals stronger if you have healing received and healing done. And we are a stage 3 vampire. Obviously, any build these days should always be at least a stage 3 vampire. Why? Not only does it give us access to Blood Mist, but it gives us one of the most strongest passes in the entire game. On death, where you are vampire stage 3 or higher, reduces your damage taken by up to 30% based on your missing health. The less health we have, the tankier we get. Just there is no passive quad like this. Alright, now let's go over our race. I am a Breton. Honestly, I feel Breton is honestly one of the best, if not the best for this build. And what I love about Breton is so exactly what Breton get. Gift of Magnus increases your max mag by 2k. Oh yes sir. Spell with 2 increases your spell resist by just 2310. Here you go. This effect is doubled if you are afflicted with burning, chilled, or concussed. So if you're getting zerged over, you're more than likely going to have this. So it's an extra 2300 resistances right there for spell resist, which is very, very good. And also, if that wasn't enough, increases your mag recoil by 130, because why not? But the most juicy one of all is Magicka Mastery. Reduces the magic cost of your abilities by 7%. So yeah, this thing is just kind of something else. Your open world mag power should already be Breton anyways, so you could just make this build easy. You don't even have the race change to be the best race. Alright, but enough of that. Let's go over the CP now. Alright, so for our blue CP, we do have Focus Mending. Increases your healing dome with single target heals by 10%. Ironclad reduces your damage taken by direct attacks by 6%. Resilience grants up to 660 critical resist, which is equivalent to 10% damage mit from crits. And Enduring Resolve reduces your damage taken from dots by up to 6%. Alright, so for the red CP, we do run Survival Instincts. While afflicted with a status effect, your core combat skills cost up to 25% less. This includes Roll Dodge, Block, and CC Break. Next, we do run Pain Refuge. Reduces your damage taken by 2% for every 2 negative effects activated on you, up to a maximum of 20%. Next, we do run Soothing Shield. When you successfully block an attack, you have a 15% chance to restore up to 735 health. And Bracing Anchor, while in combat, increases the amount of damage you can block by up to 20%, but reduces your movement speed by 16% at all stages. And for our green CP, doesn't really matter. Rationer, Liquid Efficiency, Gifted Rider, and Seize Blessing. But enough of that, let's go over this combo rotation now. Alright, so for the combo rotation, it's pretty simple. Not really much, you're just a tank. All you really do is you find your target, you want to buff up, put your rune on the ground, hit your 2 runes, maybe hit your major expedition, see your target, spear them, and then hold block, and win the game. And that's pretty much it. It's really simple, basically. And you also want to keep your little bubble on you, so that's basically it. But for the most part, if you are getting pressured very heavily, like if you have 30 kids wailing on you, you really don't want to bar swap. Don't bar swap. Basically, all you want to do is keep your rune and your bubble, and that's it. And then pop your Honor the Dead whenever you can. And that's pretty much all you do. So basically, when you're running low on stam, you pop your Sword and Board ult, and you go in for some nice juicy heavies. Very simple, not really much to talk about. That's what I love about these builds. Troll builds, they're very easy to deal with, and they're kind of just, they're meant to bruise people's egos. But enough of that, let's go over the alternatives now. Alright, so for the alternatives, for the most part, so for Desiros, there really is no alternative for Desiros. Desiros honestly is one of a kind. So for the monster sets, there are a few alternatives. Malabeth, I feel, is the strongest one. Major Vitality, almost 100% uptime on Major Vitality, unheard of. Bloodspawn is a very good option. Bloodspawn has always been good. If you want tankiness and more ulti, Bloodspawn is always the way to go. Almost 100% uptime, unheard of. Another really nice set that you could run if you really wanted to. You could run Earthcore for group play. Very strong set, very solid. Another one, if you're trying to run a group, small group, Magma. I don't think anyone will say no to a free Magma in the group. And if you wanted to be troll, you could run Stellastrix. So if you want to troll, here you go. Earthquake set, there you go. So the alternatives for Mars Bomb. There are a few alternatives you could run for Mars Bomb. The only ones I kind of immediately see would be the ones from PvP. Would be Battalion Defender. When you block, heal yourself or a group member within 15 meters of you for over 2.5k health. This effect can occur once every second and scales up to max health. So this is a bigger heal than Mars Bomb. Battalion Defender, 2 to 4 piece isn't as good, and Mars Bomb does give you that nice cleanse. But this is really good to heal your allies too, so very good. And the other one is Cyrodiil's Crest, or Crest of Cyrodiil, whatever it wants to be called. When you block, you heal yourself almost 9k health. This effect can occur once every 4 seconds, and it scales up your max health. Not as much, but it is more bursty, so yeah. And the 2 to 4 piece is kind of bad, so be careful with this one. But for the most part, that's pretty much it. So So yeah, that's pretty much the build. Honestly, I really do love troll TankPlars. Like, I really love my TankPlar. Big shout out to the homie Astros for giving me huge inspiration for this build. He gave me the tools, and with the tools I was able to make my own TankPlar, and honestly I just love the TankPlar so much. What I love about the TankPlar is that you are able to just be annoying, but also not totally useless. Are you useless? Kind of. You're just a tank. You're tanking. But the thing about tanks is you're really good for setting up baits. Like, you can stand there and the enemies will come over and dogpile you. Your friend, you can have a group member that's a bomber, or even your alliance can come over and steamroll them all. They're in that situation where they'll focus you, they can't kill you because you're a tank. They focus your ally, guess what? You're healing them with Honor the Dead spam, healing them with rest ult if you put rest ult on back bar. So then now they go back to you, and then they realize, oh wait, well, he's a tank, so we can't. And then they're stuck in the situation, like, who do they focus on? And they just get annoyed and they leave, or they just get annoyed and they. But for the most part, it's just a fun build. It's a chill build. They're fun builds meant to just have a good time. Is it annoying? Yes. The thing is, you don't have to kill me if you don't want to. I'm just standing there. That's the whole point. That's why it's called the ego bruiser, because apparently people's egos get bruised very hard when they see someone they can't kill. So yeah, that's what I really like about the build. Honestly, very fun. Honestly, if I ever want to hop into PvP, just have a good time, this is the build I run into, and just stack them and pack them. Alright, cool beans, but I hope you did enjoy the video. It was honestly, yeah, it's been a while since I've uploaded. Been very busy. Had to get a new computer, sadly. Have other videos in the works. Wink, wink. It was very fun to come back to the game finally and just make another build video, because honestly, I love making build videos. Whether they be meta builds or fun troll builds or annoying game builds, I just love making videos and love entertaining people, and that's all what can I ask? So if you did like the video if you liked it. Comment your thoughts or suggestions on the build or what build I should do next. Subscribe for more. Hope you do enjoy the rest of this small montage, but most importantly, stay zerging.